In the mid to late 2000s, skateboarding games were at an all-time high. You still had the Tony Hawk series, Skate 1 had come out in 2007, and now there was some competition in the air. And ultimately, Skate did somewhat beat Tony Hawk. I only say that because Robomoto took over Tony Hawk's series and they kind of put it into the ground. But the Skate series had a much more realistic approach to skating. I wouldn't call Skate a simulation, but more of a simcade. Now, growing up, this was the game for me right here. Skate 3 was my game for real life. This is pretty much all I played 24/7 non-stop. Apart from that, I was playing like the SmackDown vs. Raw games, Saints Row, and Call of Duty. Like Call of Duty and Skate 3 were the kind of the games that raised me pretty much, 'cause that's all I would play. But let's take a retrospective look back at Skate 3, and let's see if this game still holds up 14 years later, or are we indeed just blinded by nostalgia? This game, simply put, is legendary. Even 14 years after release, it's still played online and still very popular. Skate 1 was released in 2007, and it was a very good foundation for what would become. Instead of using the buttons for tricks like the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series, the Skate franchise used the right stick, dubbed the flicky control, for tricks, which brought a new sense of realism to skateboarding games. And it also had some real skaters too for the star power. This ain't no Fugazi. You know, you got real pros like Chris Cole, Danny Way, and Rob Dyrdek. And listen, I grew up in the reality TV era of MTV, so me and my cousin just stayed watching Fantasy Factory ridiculousness, and the occasional rerun of Robin Big. I'm pretty sure most people prefer MTV pre-reality, and that's fine, but the early 2010s for TV was a good time. Like, in just life in general, you had the swag era, you had shows like Jersey Shore, like, wait a second, I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, Skate 2 will release in January of 2009, and it's arguably the best in the series, and I do actually agree. I do think Skate 2 is actually the best skate game in the franchise, but 3 is my favorite. And releasing in 2010, Skate 3 was set to improve and expand on the previous 2 games, and honestly, I say they did a pretty good job of that. The game starts with another live action introduction. The first 2 games did this as well. The Skate 3 one is actually pretty good, but I still do think the prison sequence from 2 is the best one. It shows the process of a board being made, and there's actually a reason behind that we will get to in a second. Also, that hoodie in Andrew Reynolds' office, that hoodie is so 2010. I want one. Now. Gimme. And we see that our skater decides to jump the shark, literally in this case, and we die? There's actually a very popular theory out there that Skate 3 isn't real. It's all in heaven, and our skater actually died. But Reddit decides to, screw to other companies. Let's just start our own. And that's the goal. Make a company sell 1 million boards, and after creating our own skater, we are given the option to learn at Coach Frank's skate school, played by Jason Lee, yes, the guy from Alvin and the Chipmunks, and hello, my name is Earl. I skipped this only because it's pretty much just a big tutorial, which is nothing wrong with that. If you want to play it, go ahead. I didn't. And after a few follow quests, some missions where you do a trick or you film stuff, a big change made in the series where Retta is no longer the filmer, it is Shingo. And the main thing I don't like about this is I kind of find myself missing Retta's joking comments and the funny stuff he would say. Like in Skate 1 and 2, he would always say something funny when you fell or you did a big trick. But Shingo's all but quiet here. But after that, the game will introduce us to another big innovation that the Skate series made, is the skate park editor. That's right, you can make whatever skate park you desire. People have made some crazy parks, even some recreations of like actual legit skate spots like Tampa, El Toro, Wallenberg, list goes on. It serves as a small tutorial on the park editor, so it's nothing major like completely redesign your own park. Also, here's a note, I'm recording this on the PS3, and parts tend to drop the frame rate, but on Xbox One, this does not seem to be an issue. We unlock the Thrasher quests, and I do like how this game does somewhat get to the point with unlocking quests. That's one thing I'd like to play about Skate. There is no like set direction. It's kind of just do it at your own pace. You don't have to complete every quest to complete the game. That's one thing I've always liked about this series. And I like to mention, I'm playing on hardcore difficulty. It's the most realistic. And what that means is, like, for example, it's harder to get air on pop. You don't stick to rails. You actually have to line up your ollie to the rail. And I'll get back into that when we get to the street contest. And after a few pointless little missions, we finally get let loose and are free to complete missions at our own pace and do whatever. And it's the same as it's always been. You have the death races, which, yeah, they're still in this game. Look, they're not as annoying as they are in Skate 1 and 2, but I've just never been a fan of the death races. There's too much that can happen that's not your fault. The photo challenges are self-explanatory, and I actually kind of like these in Skate 3 because the photos would always be terrible in the previous 2 games, but now you have somewhat a bit of control if you want to zoom in, zoom out for your photo. And I don't know, I just kind of like getting the perfect photo. It's weird. You have, and we also have the pro challenges. These are the same as they've always been. It'll either be follow me to this spot, which I've never been a big fan of, or beat my high score. So there's a good variety of missions that won't keep you bored. There's the street and vert contest, and there's one more mission type in this game that has become iconic in my opinion. See, the Hollow Meat feature was simply that, just a feature. It was a little bail chart or score in Skate 1 and 2. But now, it's an actual mission type in the game, which is nice. And that's pretty much what Skate 3 is. There will be an occasional cutscene here and there, but you just do these missions, record new teammates, and you just sell 1 million boards. One feature that I'm so grateful to have in Skate 3 and other skateboarding games is its replay editor. Like, once I got Malgado, it was a wrap. I was making full-blown skate edits on YouTube that are all still up on this channel, by the way. But I got some new clips for you guys for this little montage, and rather than, like I said, rather than, you know, show an old edit or a link one, I'm just gonna show you. I got some whole new clips here. Enjoy. $900 jeans, homie. All these girls be raunchy. Like, let me see your peen, homie. She trying to cause a scene, but I'm in Paris with my team, walking slow like I'm on lean. Then my nigga jewelry looks so clean. I occasionally bought in Lambin. I ain't talking about Jim Jones, nigga. I'm talking about hooping up. Special shirt, break the bones. Fuck your Rolex, roll up, homie. Roll that kush, blow that, homie. Oh, stop that, the popo on me. Shit out the window. See ya, we just getting saucy and RC, we bossy. Tryna bring back the turn, bling bling, cause we flossy. You brought snapbacks back, well that's a cool accomplishment. I'm on the other side, on the other globe, in the conference. Good looking, so refined. We've been all over the world, baby. Let's get right to the point. I don't pop my cork for every guy I see. Hey, look, real talk. Some of these street and vert contests be very challenging, especially on the hardcore difficulty. Now, if you want to call it a skill issue, that's fine. I mean, that's all, you know, up to interpretation. But it also don't help that I have very big hands and I have a small PS3 controller, so sometimes I'll just hit the triggers by accident and I'll grab it, it'll mess up a lot of things. But I'll say this, I do like the concept of hardcore, the fact that you can't just magnetize the grinds like you could on the default difficulty. You actually have to line up your ollie like you would in real life, which is very cool. I do like that. And I'll say this about the teammates. Sometimes they will carry you through a contest, and sometimes they actually sell the whole game for you. So it's give or take. The street and vert contests end with a big DC Shoes themed ender, which wasn't that hard, but I find it funny. Apart from Chris Cole and Josh Kalis, nobody on this contest has ever even rode for DC Shoes. But that's just a little nitpick for the video. That's not really a complaint. Also, we can't just not sit here and not acknowledge the Miracle Whip sponsored contest. Like, for real. I've never had Miracle Whip, but I remember seeing their ads back in like 2011, 2012 saying how they were more extreme than Mayo, or they were better than Mayo, whatever it was. It's always made me laugh. Near the end of the game, we do the Goofy versus regular contest. It wasn't too terrible. I didn't struggle here, but I will say I do prefer the Skate 2 version of the park. And after completing a few more quests for the team or whatever, we hit 1 million boards, and that's about it. We do a big contest at a mega park. It's sponsored by Monster Energy. Once again, this game came out in 2010. Monster Energy was actually popular to drink. And that's about it. There's still missions like races and pro challenge I didn't complete, but that's it for the main story. Once you sell 1 million boards, you're done. That's it. But don't worry, we still have a couple more things to talk about real quick. So let's start off with some of the DLC maps. Now, I'm gonna quickly go over these DLCs. I'm not gonna spend too much time and like thoroughly examine them. The Black Box Skate Park is just a little nice skate park. There's not much here. There's a little own the lot thing. I didn't talk about own the lot, but basically it's just a checklist of tricks and challenges on this spot. They're kind of annoying in my opinion, so I didn't bother doing them or talking about them. But that's all there is here. But it's just skating back and forth is just nice. It's kind of like a small, like, do you guys remember Skate Street or whatever it's called from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2? It kind of reminds me of that, just a little bit smaller and condensed. Pretty nice, I recommend it. The Maloof Money Cup in Y is just alright in my opinion. I've never been a big fan of this DLC map. Like, I could skate it and have a good time, but I'd probably skate some of the other ones before this. But like I said, by no means this is terrible. This just ain't for me, bro. There's actually a street contest here. I didn't win it, sadly, but I just needed to get the gameplay. Anyways, Hawaiian Dream is legit, and that's all I need to say about it. No, I'm kidding. It's the single biggest DLC map in the game, I do believe. It's got a little street area, and even like a hidden pull up in the hills. There's also this fun little plaza area, which is also a very good time. This DLC actually has a lot of missions and contests here. I would actually recommend getting this DLC. If you can only get one DLC map for this game, I recommend getting the Danny Way's Hawaiian Dream. You get a lot of bang for your buck, don't worry. The Sanatorium is a creepy mental asylum staying at night, so if you want to get those night clips for your skate through video parts, here's what you gotta do. But the main thing I like about this DLC is the fact that it actually brings back the DIY park from Skate 1, which is nice, and skating at night is a little nice change of scenery. Skate 3 EA was cooking back in the day, like, even in 2010 they were still kind of greedy, but EA Black Box is making bangers. And we have the final DLC map, which is the art gallery from Skate 1, and it's faithfully recreated here. And it's even got the Reg skate shop and park, but you do also get bang for your buck on this one because it adds an entirely new part of the map that was never seen before, the Marafa skate park, and it looks so dope and colorful. This area always reminded me of the Kona map from THPS 4. Is that just me? Let me know down in the comments. But overall, I don't hate any of the Skate 3 DLCs. Like, they're so good. Now, before we go, there's one teensy little thing I want to talk about real quick. Let's quickly dive into the world of emulation and talk about some Skate 3 mods. No, your eyes do not deceive you. You're looking at Fantasy Factory from Skate 2 in Skate 3. Same with all the DLC maps. They're all here. The Parkade, Stadium, let's see, Maloof Money Cup from Skate 2, that's already in the game for Skate 3. They just changed a couple things. It's remarkable that people are still playing and modding this game after 14 years of release. I think it's remarkable that even 14 years after this game's release, people are still going back and playing this. The online community is still strong. Like I said, I just showed you some of the modding scene. There's a lot more crazier mods too. Like there's glowing skaters. You can change your flip speed, stuff like that. I didn't show you any of that. I just showed you the maps because I figured that was the coolest part for me. But honestly, I do think this game still holds up very well. When you think of skateboarding games, at least like my generation, like Gen Z and maybe Gen Alpha, I think they probably think of Skate 3 the most. And I know the Skate and Tony Hawk series had a big, not rivalry, but like it was competition, I guess. And I know the comparison's been thrown out. Oh, Tony Hawk's better, Skate's better. I personally don't think it's fair to compare the two because they play drastically different. Yes, they're both skateboarding games, but I mean, if you look back at it, Tony Hawk is more of an arcade center game, while Skate is, I guess, a simcade, because I wouldn't call it full-blown simulation. Like, games like Session Skate Sim would be a full-blown sim, but like, Skate is like a simcade. You can do wacky stuff, but it's geared towards realism, if that makes any sense at all. I don't know, maybe I'm just rambling. But I like both series. I just kind of grew up on Skate. It's the same thing with like Need for Speed's awesome, but I prefer Midnight Club because it's what I grew up with. But I hope you guys enjoyed this retrospective look back at Skate 3. I wanted to try something new other than wrestling. And I'm thinking about branching out and kind of not leaving the wrestling thing behind necessarily. I'm always still going to be a wrestling fan. I'm always still going to make wrestling videos. But before I kind of switched to making wrestling content a lot, I was doing a lot of just whatever I wanted to, which wasn't working. But I got a little fan base here on YouTube now, so let me know down in the comments, would you guys like me to see play other game genres and like review other games, or just stick to this? Because I'm just trying this out. If this doesn't do well, I won't be upset. You know, it's proof of concept. But yeah, thank you guys for sitting down and watching this. Hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know some of your memories about Skate 3. Anyway, peace, guys. I'm out.